Alright YouTube, in a previous video I showed you how to cut cast iron with a plasma cutter, so I thought it would be fitting to do a video on how to repair cast iron. I'm going to show you one method today as far as repairing cast iron without preheating it. That's the ideal method as far as I'm concerned, but in some instances it's impossible, if not impractical, to preheat. So we'll take you out and get you started. If you stick around towards the end of the video, I'll show you how to weld cast iron with stainless steel filler material. I just want to show you everything you'll need for this video. Some sort of angle grinder. Mine's from Harbor Freight. Most of this stuff's from Harbor Freight. An air needle scaler. I've had this for years. It works great. Harbor Freight piece. A couple of these things may be optional depending on your needs. The air angle grinder, cutoff wheel, inline die grinder with a carbide burr, very helpful. Some sort of drill, of course, hearing protection, a welding hood, pick your favorite manufacturer, some safety glasses just for your PPE, and then we have a fan just to get rid of some of the fumes. We also have a welding blanket here. This is optional as we did not use the preheat method to repair cast iron. Alright, as you can see, I've cut a slot in this exhaust manifold to simulate a crack. Any kind of casting, you're going to want to clean things up, and since I've simulated a crack, you want to drill a hole at each end of the crack. Just it's for a stopping point for the crack. We're going to finish drilling this hole. A lot of the success in welding cast irons in the preparation. So best practices would dictate that I use a carbide burr instead of an abrasive disc. You know, these Christmas tree burrs work great. This one's just about shot, so I have another style. We're just going to put a light chamfer on the edge and clean up the rust. Now I need to find a place on this to clean up enough to get a ground clamp. I'm not going to get too carried away. So what I have here is, this just happened to be handy. This is a 3/32 nickel 141. You don't have to use this rod, but whatever rod you use needs to have a high nickel content. And just, I guess for my own comfort, I prefer a little bit shorter rod for some projects. So I'm just going to clip that off. You know, you can still use both ends. I'm not going to get into a ton of detail, but you just knock the flux off and now you have basically two shorter welding rods. So for this project we got an old Miller transformer welder. I think it probably came over on the Mayflower. But we're running about 90 amps DC high reverse polarity, just for anybody that wanted to know. So basically what we're going to do here is weld a little bit, and then we're going to come around with our Harbor Freight needle scaler and peen the weld. And we're going to do that until this is welded up. My preferred method is to preheat everything first. I'll demonstrate that in another video. But I realize that sometimes it's not practical to preheat things. Say maybe you have a furnace casting or something that you just can't get a preheat to. So I'll show you how we're going to do it. you can see, I haven't introduced that much heat to the metal. You know, these adjoining parts are hot, but this isn't terrible. So what I'm going to do is wrap this up with a welding blanket. It may not help that much in this case, but it should help this to normalize some. All right, so we're pulling our welding blanket off. See that it's cool to the touch now. Get right up close. And my welds are not pretty, but the crack is gone. So I'm just going to polish this up. Anybody that's seen my other videos, this is just a air angle grinder. Now I've got that all polished up. You can see some imperfections, but for all intents and purposes, it's repaired. Just for anybody that's interested, if you can't, you should be able to find nickel welding rod at your local welding supply. You'll probably find it at a better price at your local welding supply than you will the small hobby packs. But I just have some Hobart filler materials. This is actually stainless steel welding rod. And I've set up another simulated crack just to show you that you can weld it with stainless rod too. Alright, you can see I've got a couple imperfections in this one too, but no crack came back through, so I would call that success. Alright, so there you have it. We've got a repaired manifold, one with nickel filler material and another one with cast iron. I hope that helps someone out. Thanks a lot.